I remember the sound before I remember his face that night. The heavy slam of the front door, the uneven footsteps, the sharp inhale before he spoke. He stood in the doorway of our bedroom, sweat on his collarbone, fury in his eyes. "Give me the money," he said. Not asked, demanded. My savings, the money I'd been building quietly, patiently for years. And I looked at the man I once trusted with my life and saw a stranger shaped by loss, lies, and late nights in smoke-filled gambling rooms. But let me start from the beginning, because stories like these don't break in a day. They rot slowly. Back when I still believed in him. We met when we were young enough to think love could fix anything. He was warm, ambitious, and full of plans. The kind of man who smiled like the world already belonged to him. He'd hold my hand like it was his anchor, tell me he couldn't breathe without me. I believed him, and maybe, back then, it was true. We built a life together, not extravagant, but stable. I handled the details, he handled the dreams. We made a good team, until the dreams started costing money. The first crack. It began small, a late return, a missed call, a bank withdrawal he didn't remember making. Then came the excuses, always one breath too fast. "I'm working on an opportunity. I'm just a little short this month. It's temporary, trust me." Trust. That word started to taste like metal. But the truth came out one Sunday afternoon when a man I had never met came to our door. He smiled kindly. He said my husband owed him $12,000. He asked when we would be paying. I didn't react, just stood still, watching my husband's face fall apart. The man left. My husband cried. I held him. I thought love meant staying. Sometimes love just means not leaving yet. The spiral. 12,000 became 20. 20 became 35. By the time it hit 50,000, he wasn't my husband anymore. He was hunger wearing human skin. He gambled hope like it was a currency. Every loss fueled another promise. And still, I didn't yell, didn't break, didn't beg. While he chased miracles, I built safety. I separated our accounts. I met with a lawyer. I documented everything. I transferred my savings to a private account under my maiden name. I watched. I waited. I didn't plan revenge then, but I was preparing for war. The night it broke. When he asked for the money, there was panic behind his voice. But when I said no, when I finally said no, something dark slid into his expression. He reached for my wrist, hard, his fingers digging into bone. "Don't make me look like a fool," he growled, as if I hadn't already spent months living with one. He pushed me, just enough for the message to land, not enough to bruise. Calculated, ugly. And I realized something very, very important. He didn't love me. He loved what I could be used for. So I let my voice soften. I said, "Okay, give me until tomorrow. I'll get the money." His shoulders unclenched. He believed me. He slept beside me that night like nothing happened. But I didn't sleep. I packed a bag, I finalized a transfer, I emailed the lawyer, and I left before the sun rose. The morning after. When he woke up, the house was quiet. No coffee, no perfume, no footsteps in the hall. Just absence. On the dining table, I left a copy of the legal separation I had already filed, a record of every transaction he made, evidence of the debt in his name only, the police report I filed after he grabbed my wrist, and a note, "You gambled with us. You lost." He called, then texted, then begged. I didn't answer, not because I was cruel, but because the moment he touched me with violence, he ended the story himself. Now people ask if I regret leaving? No. Love doesn't mean drowning with someone who refuses to swim. Love is choosing yourself when someone else won't. He thought I walked away from him, but I didn't. I walked back to myself. And when I closed that door behind me, I didn't just escape the debt. the lies, the addiction. I escaped the version of me that thought love was something you prove by suffering. Never again.